Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and this weekend is the first weekend where the Gundam beta trial events are happening across North America, and I know a lot of people are really excited for their first chance to try out the Gundam card game. So because of that, I want to make this video going over how the game kind of works, how the beta box works, what's going on for these events, and just kind of a general resource for you guys who are just trying to get into this card game, and this is going to be one of your first times doing so. So I know this is like a less competitive version of these kind of pre-release events that Bandai usually does. There's not really like something to win for these. I'm sure they would kind of do one maybe closer to the release of set 1, but for these beta events, it's more of just trying to get people into the game and at least kind of show how the game works and all that kind of stuff. So if you guys are new to the channel though, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. We make a lot of content for the Gundam card game and other Bandai card games, and you guys don't want to miss anything in the future either. So jumping on into it though, what's in this video? One, we kind of assume that you know how to play the Gundam card game. If you haven't checked it out already, I do have some tutorials and kind of rules videos too, which you can kind of use that to learn the game too, but this is assuming that you do. If you need some resources, additional resources outside of this video, we've got some links that we're going to have in the description we're going to talk about in a minute. What's in the beta box, because I've seen a lot of people kind of not know exactly, or I've seen some misinformation spreading around, so I'm just going to go real quickly what's over that. Some deck building tips from one box. I've got a lot of videos going over like how I build a deck if I have like 4 of every card. That's just kind of how I work, even though like I likely will never have that kind of luxury. But just some deck building tips for one box, which is what you're going to have for the beta, and then just some general gameplay tips, or just kind of things I've seen people kind of mess up a little bit, or just kind of how to sequence correctly. So we've got that there. So resources in the description. First, I do also want to say I have a link to a playlist of all of my Gundam videos in the description as well. We've got gameplay, we've got card discussion, we've got just some tutorials. I've made a good amount. I think I've made like over 10 videos, I think, for the Gundam card game already. So you can make sure to check that out, and you can if you need some additional resources for any of that as well. I also recommend the official Gundam website. I know it's a little bit surface level at times, but they've got a lot of good resources, and additionally just some kind of like developers updates and stuff. So make sure to check that out if you haven't already. There's also a link to the unofficial Discord in the description too. This is where a lot of people are talking about the Gundam card games. There are a lot of other content creators showing off their content too. I highly recommend it. And then also, if you guys want to find games, either webcam or also tabletop simulator, there's a lot of people who are playing on that Discord too. So I have a tutorial for tabletop as well, which I think is a great way if it's your first time trying out this game, especially if it's before you get the beta. So that's really helpful there. And then self-promotion, I gotta say, we got Eggman events, which is what's also the picture on here. We've got a deck builder which has all the cards in the beta in it, so you can check that out. And then I also have some of my builds on the main site, which doesn't really affect this beta. So, but you know, if you guys want to kind of upgrade your decks or look at making some more complete decks, you can find that information there. And I'll be continuing to update the website in general as we get more cards, as we get more sets, and just a really good resource for you guys there as well. All right, what's in the box for these ones? So this is the description that Bandai gave us. It gives us 16 booster packs with 9 cards per pack, which 2 of them are going to be hits, like for One Piece and Digimon. We also have 1 legend rare as the box topper. You can get legend rares in the booster packs, but we'll talk about that too. A card set of 56 cards. This is a little bit deceiving. We'll talk about in a minute, but only 24 of them are actually playable cards. The rest are like resources, EX resources, and more of just kind of token cards to help you play the game. They're not like 56 like cards that can go into your main deck. And then we also have 2 rules and play sheets, and then 6 dice damage counters, which the dice are really nice. I do like those as well. So box topper legends. So in this set, there are 3 legend rares. We've got the Blue Gundam, we've got Wing Gundam, and we've got Ailstrike as well, which all these are generally pretty good. I know a lot of people are like, which one's the best? They're all great. They're all good cards. You play kind of what whatever the LR you get 2 of, right? So you get 1 box topper. Generally, from what I've seen of the packs that are in this, people are getting 1 of each LR on average. So because of that, whenever you build a deck, you just pick the color with 2 copies of your LRs. We'll talk about it a little bit with, decks are 2 colors in this game, but one of them should probably be the whatever one you've got 2 of 1 LR. So if you got 2 Wing Gundams, one of your colors is going to be green. I think that's just kind of how the roulette goes for this one. So, but yeah, you get guaranteed 1, and then you likely get 1 of each across the packs that you open. All right, the card set. So this is included. This is part of the 56 card set that mentioned in that description here. So we've got these 24 cards. These are unique 24 cards that you can't find in the beta card pack, which is both good and bad. The fact that you get these guaranteed cards is really good. The bad thing is that most of these cards, or at least a good amount of them, you want 4 copies of, and you can't get them. So at 4 copies, which is fine. So, but the kind of biggest things for this is that like we have, like, for each color we have like an early card. So we got Zakuto, GM, and Strike Dagger. Strike Dagger I think is really good for them. We have vanilla versions of all of the 3 main Gundams, so Gundam, Strike Gundam, and Wing Gundam. We've got the corresponding link pilot for each one of these Gundams, the Amuro, the Hero, and the Kira. So we get 2 copies of each of those, and we have a base for each one of these. So we got Side 7, St. Gabriel, and the Archangel. So unfortunately, like, all the white cards are really good. So, like, and again, like, you want 4 of each of these pilots. There's no way you are playing any of these decks with only 2 of your link cards. So unfortunately for like competitive decks, not that there's going to be a competitive season for the beta, you only, like, you need to get like another one if you want like 2 Amuros or 2 Heroes, which are really needed for some of the builds for this one. But that's kind of the idea, and I think it's really good though, because these are the pilots that link with the LRs as well. So being able to get those guaranteed pilots are really nice, and I think that's helpful for it. So that's what we have for that one. So these again will not be in the main set, but you do get these guaranteed cards in there. All right, beta packs. So they are 2 rares or 2 hits per pack. They can kind of upgrade to LRs, which we only have the 3 LRs in this set of each one of the Gundams that we kind of went over. There's also alt arts that exist in this box, and so Bandai has also said that they are beta exclusive alt arts, and we don't really know it exactly to what extent that is. They aren't, alt arts are not guaranteed. I've opened one box, beta box, and I did not get an alt art in mine. But they don't tell you if these alt arts are strictly like all of these cards are only exclusive, or if it's just maybe like the Wing Gundam, since that's the one that's on like more of the promotional material for the beta, or if it's literally like, if you guys probably can't see it here, but like in the top right corner, all of these cards are marked with a beta mark, which I think is really nice, so you guys can know if the card is from the beta or not. But I don't know if they're exclusive because they have this little beta mark, or if the art itself is. It hasn't been really clear for it, so that they'll probably give us some more information once we actually see what the first set is. We'll kind of know. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of good like alt arts, which I'm surprised that they would use only for the beta, and I'd be surprised if they didn't put into the main set. But in case you guys want to see that, these are all the alt arts that exist for these. All these are money. All these are great. I think these are some really nice cards, and the art direction for this is really good. So if you want to ask me for my favorites, I think Gun Cannon, I think the OG Gundam, Wing Gundam, and Ale Strike. These 4 are really good. But all 3 of the, like, again, main LRs, they look super nice, and I hope I try to get one in the next couple weeks too. So anyways, some deck building tips for you guys. So part of the website, they do have like this PDF with the play sheet on it, but also underneath it, they do have this kind of little like how to build decks, and they have some example stuff, so which I don't think is on the play sheet that you get in person. And one of the thing is this deck building pointers, which I think this is actually a really good resource, and I'm really happy they included it. Because it's generally a little bit tough to know where like the ratios are, and I looked at theirs, and this was generally pretty good for what it is. So quick rules in case you guys don't know. So it's 50 cards exactly, up to 2 colors. You can go monocolor if you want, but generally 2 colors are just better. Up to 4 cards of the same card number can be included, so just 4 of the same card essentially. And it's we got units, pilots, commands, and bases. And then for the following is what they're recommended. So 25 to 28 units. We also have 6 to 8 pilots, 8 to 10 command cards, and 4 to 6 base cards. So the only thing I'll say for this beta is that the command cards in this game from the beta aren't particularly good. Some of them are like the command pilot ones too, so those kind of bridge the gap between the two. But I would say the only thing I would say is like maybe less command cards. Those are like the cards that are the most flexible. So if you don't have any that you think are good, don't feel bad, put some more units or put some more bases into the deck. But otherwise, I think this is a really good rule of thumb, and I'm sure this will apply a little bit more once we get the main set with set 1 and the new star decks. But my opinion for it, in case you guys care, I think color-wise, I think blue is the best color, green is the second best color, and white is the third best. So blue and green is the best deck color, blue and white is the second best, and then green and white is the third best. but they're pretty close for what it is. And also, if you're trying to build your beta deck for what it is, you get your box topper. You'll get 3 of LRs generally. So again, kind of choose whatever color is the one that you got both of your LRs, and then you add blue to it, is the other color generally. So you kind of want to focus on linking your pilots to your units as well. That's kind of something I recommend. So try to have as many like flexible units. Most pilots can get a link with a lot of different units as well. So try to combine those. That helps out, I think, a lot as well. So, all right, I have example builds for each one of the color combinations. These are pretty basic. This is kind of assuming that most cards you won't get more than 2 copies of it. So this is just kind of a real general rule of thumb. I would probably never sleeve these up outside of these beta events, but I just want to. I know a lot of people are just saying, "Well, what's a good idea? What cards should I kind of focus on?" So for blue and green, which I think is probably one of the better color combinations for this little beta that we have. Also, Bandai puts some out of their own. I didn't super like them. You can find them on their website, but I'm making these because I think they're for like the same restriction. They're just a little bit better at times. So I think the key cards for blue and green though, gun tank. If you're playing blue, you play as many gun tanks as you open, as well as a show or resolve. So gun tank, show or resolve, as well as like thoroughly damaged. These are 3 of the better cards in this game right now. White base is also one of the better bases that exist right now. I just put like a 2/2/2 especially since we have their fall mount. Like the white base and fall mount are again just 2 super solid bases in this game. That we get to play both of, which is really nice. We also have like Zaku 2, which is probably our best early aggressive card. On attack, it becomes a 3/2, so you can get rid of an EX base, which is nice. I like Gun Cannon. We also have like the Gundam here. I put 2 and 2, whatever one. If you don't get 2 and 2, that's fine. Just take out the one that you don't and add just like another. You'll get some of these cards at 3 copies of it. Some of these are rare, so like Gun Cannons are rare. So you might not get 2 copies of that. Zaku 2s are rare too, so you might not get 2 copies of that. But if you do, just put both of those in at 2 copies. And then we kind of focus on like wing and white base stuff. So the stuff with like white base is really good because we do generally have like a good amount of different cards that we can sync together with it. A lot of cards just say if you're white base. So we have Lotto, we got Gun Cannon. Gundam and MA form are both just Amuro, but MA form, if you pair it with any white base pilot, you're able to get a draw 1. So that includes Amuro, but also the Hayato from the Thoroughly Damaged. And then we also have like the Shenlong and the Wu Fei. We're also playing like Heavy Arms, which gets you Breach, Rick Dom as well, and then we also have the Troa, which can give something the Breach for the turn too. So I think this is a pretty solid build and pretty easy to build if from what you get. So there it is. Blue and white. This one is definitely like if I had like the full beta. This is definitely my favorite color combination right now. You kind of focus on just kind of out resourcing your opponent, where all you do just a lot of like 2-for-1 trades, or you play a lot of bodies that are kind of hard to remove easily, and then after that you just try to, and like you play a lot of blockers as well, so your opponent has to respect those too. But then you're really defensive. You try to just outvalue them, and then but it can be overwhelmed a little bit earlier at times because you do need to kind of set up and get to your later levels too. So key kind of cards for white though, the Strike Gundam that lets you draw 1 and trash 1, I think is really good for helping us search, and it is also able to link with the Kira as well. The blocker L Strike is really nice. The Perfect Strike Gundam is generally just as good as L Strike right now, especially because they're both 4/4 blockers, and you also can link this with Mu the Flaga as well, so that can get like an additional just like rush if you need to. We got Unicorn Gundam, which this card's really fun. I don't know if it's really good, but it's really fun. And then just kind of the rest of the stuff there. So we've got 6 bases. We got Archangel because it does let us restand our blockers in the late game. And then we also have like Kaiser's Resolve, which also is like a white base pilot as well, but we're able to use it to, we can link it as well. And also just keeping our blockers healthy is really nice. So lastly, we've got Overflowing Affection. This card being able to draw 2 and trash 1 helps us get our pieces. And, especially in like this, we want to try to maximize the chances that we're able to find our link pairs. So there it is there. And then lastly, we've got the green and white combination. And this is my least favorite combination of the 3. Doesn't mean it's not good though. And maybe I'm just playing some bad builds. But personally, I'm enjoying like blue and green and blue and white just a little bit more for honestly, blue is just like a hard color to not play in beta, since it has just so many good like resource and general like staple cards that just feel really good. But if you want to play green and white, and if you don't get like, if you only have like one copy of blue Gundam, or you found like what, 2 of each Wing Gundam and 2 of each L Strike, that will maybe you should play this instead. So one thing that I did for this one, I'm also playing the Mognock. If you kind of need to have like 3 or 4 copies of it, but if you do, it's kind of worth it. It's just a good early card, and then also you can use it with Sandrock to play it for free later, so you get kind of some tempo, which is really nice. We've got like some heavy hitters with still the Wing Gundam. We still got the Shenlong, which is pretty much like the best kind of combination with green. Wu Fei is really great, especially since, you know, its effect means you don't take damage from AP3 or less, which even though you don't link, if you just pair it with Wing Gundam and you just attack with it next turn, you don't take damage. So this is, you know, a 7/6, and your opponent usually needs to spend a couple resources to get rid of it as well. So other than that, you know, green doesn't have like a lot of good resource generating cards outside of like Zaku 2 and Fall Mail, being able to play some Zaku tokens, but otherwise, this is the build that we have here, and you know, we've got some big late game bodies too, but the low on resource and card cycle at times can kind of catch up with you or make some kind of clunky, weird turns. But there it is. So, anyways, some general gameplay tips before we end this one. From my experience, and these are just my experiences too, but going second is better than going first. That EX resource making you have like the level curve advantage for the majority of the game is really good. Also, since this game we don't have anything that costs higher than 6, I generally recommend, if there's like a good combo for you to use your EX resource around level 5 or 6, you can go for it. I've seen some people use the EX resource way too early, and I've seen some people just wait way too late to be able to use it, and kind of lose some tempo for it. So I think around level 5 or 6 is kind of where you need to. So don't be afraid to play bases over bases. One, you can do that in case you don't know, but the fact that it lets you draw a card is really great in some situations. And so because of that, I think that's something you need to just kind of focus on, and just, yeah, sure, you take a card from your life, but you get to draw a card, and usually you get some advantage from your base, including playing like more tokens or something. So I highly recommend, like, if you don't be afraid to play a base over a base. There's a lot of situations where it's really good. Try to force 2 for 1 trades. So this is something for this game, since there's not a lot of card draw across the way. And also, you know, since we're not taking cards from our life to our hand every time, if you're able to kind of make some really good value trades with your opponent, that's something that I think will help you get farther into these games and make it a little bit trickier. So especially since there's not like a lot of hard removal in this beta outside of just damage. The only example is like gun cannon, which is just broken because of it. It's very tricky to, you know, if you have like a 2 health unit, it's kind of difficult for your opponent to trade into it sometimes. Or like if you have like a high health unit, right, you can kind of force some really good 2 for 1 trade. So try to do that. Don't over prioritize pilot links. I see some people who only link Amuro with only a card that it links with, and they kind of make some mistakes because of that, and they kind of get like tunnel vision for it. So Amuro is a really good card. It's a really good pilot, and not just because it links with these Gundams, but being able to rest anything with HP 5 or less, or level 5 or less, is really great. It's really, really great. It means that you can do some good value trades with it, and it's better than just getting the rush for like the Gundam in your hand instead sometimes. So don't be afraid to do that. I think another one is like Bonager links. +2 health and +2 AP is really good. Like even if you don't like link with the Wing Gundam, right? Like being able to give your unit an additional attack and defense boost or health boost like that means that you're really good at, like, you've made it so it's difficult for your opponent to answer the card like that. So make sure to try that out. And lastly is respect base bursts. So this is something I've seen some people lose to, where you know, they go the wrong attack order, and because of that, like they hit a base at like the last or second to last health, and because of that, they just can't go for game, and they kind of overextend with it. So respect that can happen, and that bases can come out of life, or out of shields rather, and it can kind of screw up what you thought was like a guaranteed win. Is not always guaranteed, so make sure to respect that. But that's going to be it for this video. Again, if you guys are new, make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you made it into your beta event, make sure to let me know how it goes, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun. And if you have any additional questions or anything else, please let me know in the comments. I'm going to do my best to try to answer those and get those answered too. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.